Alright, I'm going through the packet for all summer in a day. So you guys know what you're doing. I thought that worked out well last time with the last packet that we did, so we'll try it again. Alright, so the first one is this all summer in a day vocabulary warm-up exercises. Exercise A says, fill in each blank in the paragraph below an appropriate word from word list A. Use each word only once. So, don't tell anybody, but word list A, I have that, so I have to make sure you're watching the video so you know what to do. You have to come and ask me for word list A, and I'll give it to you. Alright? So you just take the things from the words from the word list and you put them in there, whichever word you find appropriate. Sometimes there's a few words that will work in a couple different spots, but then you'll find out it doesn't leave the correct word for another spot, so you might have to play with it a little bit. Over in exercise B, you're finding a synonym for each word in the word list, and so like in the example, it has muscular. And so your synonym would be brawny. Then you have to write a sentence using the synonym. So the brawny athlete lifted weights with ease instead of saying the muscular athlete. So you take the word, you find a synonym for it, and then you write a sentence using the synonym. Okay, moving on to your next page. That's reading warm-up A. Just like you've done that before, you read the story, and over here on the right side, it has some questions that it asks you. You just maybe draw arrows over, underline, circle, and you can write the answers in underneath here. If you really need to, you can get out a separate sheet of paper. You can write them up here, you can write them below. I don't care where you write them. I just want you reading through and answering the questions. The third part, let me scroll down a little bit more. See, I could have given you a second reading warm-up, but I didn't. There's another vocabulary. I didn't give you that one either. Now, the third one I gave you is the author's purpose, and we've been working with that. And usually we have persuade, inform, or entertain. Down here, it has in the directions, read these passages, write the purpose or purposes you think the author had for writing that passage. Choose from these purposes, entertain, inform, or create a mood. Instead of persuade, they have create a mood, which is fine because we know that it's fiction and we have different purposes. But what I really want you to do, it says a passage may have more than one purpose. Don't worry about that part. I want you to pick a purpose, but then I want you to explain where you have that purpose at. Like if you say it's to entertain, then show where you're entertained. If you say it's to create a mood, then just maybe underline or draw an arrow up to where it is to create a mood. That's the only thing I want to see you do with that. Okay, and then we move on to the setting paper. And in the setting, our directions tell us, and you can always read up top here. I mean, it's not going to hurt you to read up top to learn more about setting. Read the name of the character or characters from All Summer in a Day in the passage that follows. Then, on the lines, identify the setting described in the passage and the way the character or characters feel about it. Write your response in a short sentence or two. So it's telling you, what is the setting? How does the character feel about it? In the first one, it's when Margot's in the shower and she gets all mad because she's getting hit with water. Well, where does it take place at, and why does she not like the water? I think that should be pretty obvious, or how does she feel about the water? Knowing what we know about Margot, that shouldn't be too difficult. Then I threw in the vocabulary builder. Read each sentence. If the italicized word's used correctly, write correct on the line. If it's not used, rewrite the sentence to correct it. So if it doesn't make sense with the italicized word, rewrite the sentence so that the italicized word makes sense. If it does, write correct. That doesn't mean that all 6 of your answers should just say correct, so you don't have to write new sentences. Make sure that you get the right ones. Then you have some work with the Latin root VIT and VIV, which we already done, which means life. Then you just have to write a couple sentences using the words up here in the directions. That's not too bad. And I believe the last one then is the figurative language. That's the enrichment. That is asking about similes and metaphors. And deciding if you have a simile or a metaphor, the biggest thing is that similes use like or as, and it's up here. You can read about it up here still. Use like or as, and metaphors do not use like or as. They both make comparisons. And you're just deciding which one is which. And that is it for the packet. Actually, I'm sorry, it's not. Down here in the directions, choose a noun that's used in All Summer in a Day and write your own simile or metaphor. So after you see the 4 examples, you do have to write one on your own down here. And that is all.